Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we are back for another bonus episode on A Hat in Time. And this particular video I've been putting off for quite some time, as I meant to discuss all the exclusive content that this game has to offer when brought on Steam specifically. But when I was debating if I was going to get a Steam Deck or not, that ended up holding off this video even longer due to the problems I encountered getting this game to run on it. All will be mentioned here, and the majority of this video is scripted just to be more efficient since gameplay will be at a minimal in this video. Speaking of Steam exclusive content, we have all of the cross-save stickers that can be added to your Steam inventory if you own Here Comes Nico, Among Us, Psychonauts 2, and just recently before scripting this video, Figment 2, of which I go into more depth alongside related mods in my modding showcase of the 40th Challenge Road, and these stickers could only be accessed within A Hat in Time if you also have either DLC 2 Yakuza Metro or Creator DLC 1 Vanessa's Curse. Both these DLC packs include Online Party, which allows you to play up to 50 other players, which is also still a Steam exclusive feature. Vanessa's Curse is an Online Party only DLC, which makes it Steam exclusive. Both these DLCs unlock the sticker features, which can be used as emotes. We've covered all possible stickers available so far in both live event videos, the first being the 5th anniversary event and the second being the Winter 2022 event, which required earning Death Wish stamps exclusive to these limited time events to get their stickers. Since we're talking about stickers, we have mentioned this starting our coverage of Yakuza Metro, but to reiterate so it's all here, only Yakuza Metro comes with 2 variants of DLC 2's main promotional key art on your PC. No other DLC comes with art bonuses like this, which is quite strange. Speaking of buying DLC and other such bonuses, these next 4 features on Steam apply to any game on Steam that has them compatible, and can unlock Steam exclusive digital bonuses that are either used in-game, messaging within Steam, or using on your Steam profile page. Of these features, first up is the Steam Market. We've talked about this during our 5th anniversary live event, but to reiterate so it's all here once again, this storefront allows you to buy or sell your unwanted foil stickers obtained randomly throughout the levels within A Hat in Time, or any of the variants randomly earned when finishing a round of Vanessa's Curse. Some of these, like the now unavailable in-game birthday variants, and the ultra-rare Hyperzone variants, unless Giz for Breakfast do reruns of the anniversary live event which allows you to earn this via Vanessa's Curse, the Steam Market is the only way to get the birthday variant stickers, and they are real money expensive and limited to what players have in circulation. Next up is Steam Trading Cards. This is an obscure feature of Steam. You might notice on your Steam dashboard, you might have trading cards randomly appear within your Steam inventory when playing or have just finished playing a game on your Steam library that have trading cards available. You can check to see how many cards you could earn per game before you have to start buying, selling, trading, creating, or opening booster packs of cards to complete a set. Completing a set allows you to increase your Steam Game Badge level, which you can display on your Steam profile page. Getting a set of foil variants of these cards can earn you a separate Steam Game Badge that cannot be leveled up with subsequent full sets of the same cards, so you only need 1 full set of foil variants to get this. These cards can also be bought with real money, just like with the stickers, so watch your wallet. Thirdly, we have the Steam Point Shop, not to be confused with the Steam Market. It is a completely different storefront that uses a loyalty or club card currency system. When you buy anything on Steam, you earn points. These points can be used here. If a game has the option to visit the Point Shop, you can buy Steam exclusive banners and pictures for your Steam profile page and emotes to use within the messaging system within Steam. And the 4th universally available Steam feature is Remote Play. Think of it as Parsec baked into Valve servers. Any compatible Steam game, most likely any game with local multiplayer like Golfing with Friends and of course A Hat in Time, Remote Play allows you to play local multiplayer online. So if you had a mate who wants to play A Hat in Time with you, or you want to play A Hat in Time with someone else, but they don't have the game, or they don't want to buy the game, as well as buy DLC 2 or create a DLC 1 for Online Party, you can use Remote Play. The only caveat is that you have to make sure that both your internet connections are stable and fast enough, as the host, the person who is sharing their game screen, is effectively low latency live streaming their gameplay to those joining in, to minimise input lag and to make gameplay accurate. These aforementioned features apply to any games on Steam that have these options available. This is the first video on my channel in particular that I've been mentioning these features, so until I get around to covering these features for projects that I've done in the past, if they have them, games can come with Steam achievements which you can earn as you play, just like from the PS3 and above to the Xbox 360 and above. And with that, we would be done covering all the Steam exclusive content there is for a hat in time, if there wasn't a dedicated home/portable Valve PC gaming console to talk about. Now, there were Steam machines by Alienware back in the day, but their compatibility didn't have the Proton layers, which sucks, and we do not talk about those home PC game consoles. In terms of the Steam Deck, this is primarily why this video was delayed in recent years, not counting other projects and life and such, as this game was a pain to get working on the Steam Deck. Let me explain. First off, Valve lies to you, or at least someone in the testing department is. I'm not sure why or how this game has a green Steam compatibility checkmark, as it practically means that this game has 100% Steam Deck compatibility, when it should at least be a yellow exclamation mark, as this game requires user intervention and optimization just to boot the game. At least in my experience, every time I boot a hat in time with a fresh install on my Steam Deck and there's nothing wrong with my SD card or the onboard storage, after it got past the splash screen that would normally display what mods and DLC you have enabled and installed, I get a black screen and the system would reboot like if I just turned it off and restarted it because it crashed. The game would verify successfully, pre-cache the shaders, and then I'd try again to no avail. I had to do some research. After looking it up, it seems that you need this specific line of code in the game's launch options under General Properties. This one change allows the game to boot past the splash screen, so you can actually, have the game running. It seems to hang for a bit on the Gears for Breakfast logo, but that could just be the amount of mods that I have installed or how the game just loads. This is the only loading time that has been affected majorly. Mods work fine on the Steam Deck. But now for the next problem. When I get to the save file screen, I have a new issue. My inputs are doubled for no reason. Just trying to navigate to the input settings was difficult. Why is it like this? No other game I have played or heard about has experienced this problem on the Steam Deck. Even games that aren't on Steam that I have Linux versions of, and then I'm playing through the Steam launcher, work fine. And this is with the official controller layout provided by Gears for Breakfast. It looks fine, nothing is out of place, but for whatever reason this game is registering this control scheme as two controllers sharing the exact same inputs at the same time. After managing to rebind the controls in the game's input settings, the sticks still seem to do double inputs, but I can navigate with the D-pad. Since I can now navigate, I booted up my test file, being file 1. Before I get into some performance optimizations, as the game is right now causing the Steam Deck to audibly whir and get quite warm, the game does play with minor frame drops as the default is 60 frames. It hovers around about 40 to 50. However, we have more control problems. If you didn't rebind your controls in-game before booting into a file, your camera will endlessly rotate around HATKid, but you can move. But if you did rebind your controls in-game, you will be auto-running straight ahead and you cannot stop, but you have full camera control. How is this fully compatible with these issues? Having a hat in time on PC, on the go, with full access to mods, online party, and DLC, would be amazing. And it is way better in all aspects in comparison to the Nintendo Switch version. And my personal reason for having the game on my Steam Deck is so I can practice the future challenge roads away from home, but I can't do that if I can't control HATKid properly. I had an idea. Check other people's shared controller input layouts to see if anyone has solved the issue, as my Google searches turned fruitless. No controller layouts seemed to work as I still had the same double input issues, but then I had a big brain moment. What if I binded the keyboard and mouse controls to my Steam Deck's onboard controls, and made them as close to a general controller layout as possible? Well, it took a while, but now it works without any in-game control rebinding. Even though I've lost the ability to look it up, as that seems to be a controller exclusive thing for some reason, it feels exactly like using a controller like I do on my PC. The game just tells me I'm using keyboard and mouse. So with my control issues finally diagnosed and solved, all I needed to do now was tweak the game's output settings so my Steam Deck can optimally run this game without being too hot to hold. For an Unreal Engine 3 game, you wouldn't think that that's something to worry about, but The Steam Deck's not exactly happy with the game, and you're not going to be able to run it at optimal default settings. So for my in-game settings, I lowered the resolution down from 1280 by 800p, as that is the native resolution of the Steam Deck screen, and lowered it to 1152 to 720p, which is effectively the next size down. I lowered the frame rate from 60 FPS to 48 FPS, which barely drops unlike 60 FPS, but it's still faster and smoother than 30. I set the level of detail to standard and the environment lighting to high performance. I set the post-processing to 50% and depth of field to simple. Anti-aliasing is at FXAA2 to help soften the jaggies of the lower resolution. And for the Steam Deck performance settings, by pressing the triple dot button on your Steam Deck, I'm using a per game profile, so these settings only apply to this game. I set the screen's refresh rate to 48, so 48 FPS is the max for a Hat in Time. Since the game itself offers a 48 frames per second option as a default, that means the game can smoothly run without needing to be in between frame rates. I turned on half rate shading to save power, as a Hat in Time drains the Steam Deck's battery. I locked the GPU clock frequency to the max at 1600, as it always seems to be maxing out anyway, so instead of it fluctuating, might as well keep it maxed out. And I also set the scale filter to FSR sharpness 4 to smooth out the graphics even further. The Steam Deck scaling filter doesn't use as much power as an in-game scaler because the game is being told to render in that particular manner. This is a filter on top of the game that the Steam Deck itself handles and is always active. And as you can see, the game runs great. I can play the game with no issues. The Steam Deck does run a bit warm and the battery life can last for about 2 hours at full charge, but all my mods work, so I can practice the challenge roads on the go. All I had to do was all the work to get it working, and that green checkmark is a lie. To be crystal clear, using the Steam Deck's own descriptions, a green checkmark normally indicates, and I quote, "The game is fully functional on Steam Deck and works great with the built-in controls and display." A yellow exclamation mark, as you can see by my example of the Halo Master Chief Collection, a yellow exclamation mark indicates, and I quote, "The game is functional on Steam Deck but might require extra effort to interact with or configure." So to break it down, if a Hat in Time requires 1. A launch code to prevent a system reboot and launch the game properly, 2. A complete rebinding of controls and emulation of the keyboard and mouse to controller input just to play the game as the official controller layout should work, but ends up being broken, giving double inputs and half ignoring your triggers, and 3. Needing to optimize both in-game and out-of-game Steam Deck performance settings for decent gameplay. How is this a green checkmark? That's extra effort by configuring things. Literally the description of a yellow exclamation mark. Why has this game got a green checkmark? I wouldn't be so mad if the description was correct, and the description that matches my experience on trying to get this game to work on here is that of a Steam's Deck compatibility of a yellow exclamation mark. This is the only game on my Steam Deck that I have marked my compatibility feedback as not matching my experience. This is bad. And I haven't seen anything online quite like what I've had to go through to get this game working on the Steam Deck properly, and why I wanted to talk about this so badly. I have shared my custom keyboard and mouse to controller layout to the community, so you can play this game, and I hope that I've brought these issues into discussion, so they can be looked into to improve compatibility, so you do not require this complicated control scheme, or even a launch code to play a Hat in Time on the Steam Deck. And if I have to talk positive, it's a big one. This is the best portable option for a Hat in Time. You have full access to online party, including all DLCs, which includes Vanessa's Curse, stickers, mods, and challenge roads, anywhere, anytime. The problems of the Nintendo Switch version, being the only other portable version of this game, looks rough from the moment you boot it. It stutters, it's not got a smooth frame rate, the jaggies are insane, a lot of the special effects are missing. It's because the Switch cannot natively run Unreal Engine 3, and just like how the Steam Deck can run 90% of the Windows games from Steam's library on a Linux-based system, the Nintendo Switch version of A Hat in Time has a emulation / layer similar to Proton that works with the Switch, that emulates certain Unreal Engine 3 features and translates them into a code that the Nintendo Switch can understand. If that sounds complicated, layers are effectively replacing or translating features from one system to another so it's compatible without needing to emulate the game fully. So I'm sorry if my Steam Deck rant went on longer than anything else discussed here. That was not intended by any means. But that's again why I went for scripting this video and not just babbling off the top of my head. It needed to be mentioned, and it was relevant, and I hope that these problems can be fixed in the future. If they have already been fixed, then this video is a little bit dated, but at the time of making this video, and that was way later on after the Steam Deck's launch, and that's even after I got it way after launch, these problems were around, and I hope I brought them to your attention, but it can still be played with these fixes. That is everything I have to mention that is Steam exclusive specifically for A Hat in Time, warts and all. Hopefully for the main Let's Play, we'll be continuing with the next creator DLC, whatever and whenever that will be. But it will probably just be another challenge road, knowing how things have been of late. Unless a new live event comes along? I'm in the midst of other projects, so I'll be seeing you in those as well. With that, see you guys then.